So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is the objective questions. The main part of this project is to answer these objective questions of postmodernism. So I'm going to be answering the questions, and I'm also going to be linking them back to the stories as I go. So the first question is, how does religion fit into modernism? Neither of these poems that I have read to you have anything to do with religion. A lot of them are talking about other things. They're not discussing this religion, but it says that sometimes religion is the hero and sometimes it's the demon. It can be the hero, it can be the good thing, or it can be the bad thing, and it can weigh you down. And these were all things that we discussed in class together, which is what I'm reading off of. I'm reading, what we discussed in notes. So another question that we have is, how is figurative and form used? And I can actually link that back to the stories, because a lot of things that are used in postmodernism is symbolism, metaphors, imagery, disillusionment, all that stuff I just discussed in the past video. That stuff is how it's being used in postmodernism. There's a lot of imagery and being able to visualize what's going on in the stories. So another question is, how does nature get addressed? Both of these don't have any really thing to talk about nature. They have more to talk about, again, their inner, their psychological mind, what's going on with them in their minds. But it usually gets addressed with either destruction or some kind of unification. It unifies everybody. It brings things together. So nature can be the enemy or it can be the saving grace, and that's how postmodernism addresses that. Another question is, how does human nature or psychology fit into postmodernism? So that actually links back to our stories too, because human nature, when you lose somebody, you're going to go into a mourning state. It's human nature. And another thing is you want that person back, which both of these poems are talking about. They want to see these people again, but they know that they're never going to. So they're in this state, this alternate reality of their own, of mourning. And that's human nature, to mourn like that and to want to be able to see somebody again after they've passed away. And a lot of postmodernism stories have to do with this psychology, or they're intense, and they have a lot of stuff to do with this psychological mind of human nature. So that's how human nature is represented in postmodernism. It's more of the psyche, what's going on in their minds. So another question is, how does postmodernism address government and society? Back in the postmodernism area, there was a lot of corruption in government, and society kind of had these expected social rules. But postmodernism's idea is that society feels like if the rule is not fair, that they should be able to break that rule. They should be able to go past it and to move on and to go to a better place where they want to be, to kind of live that American dream. So that's how postmodernism addresses the government and society. Society wants to break these rules, and government is not always doing what's right for everybody. So another objective question is, what is the postmodernism American dream? And that's pretty easy, because the American dream hasn't changed much over the years. The American dream is to be happy, to be able to go the places that you want to go, and to be able to strive to be the best that you can be and to do what you want. So to achieve happiness is the postmodernism American dream. Another question is, what are the characteristics of a postmodernist hero? So the heroes in our stories, the two poems that I read to you, are these mourning heroes. They're not, the heroes of postmodernism era are heroes that do good things, but they're not always for the right reasons. And we talked about the anti-hero, or the underdog that rises up, and the rage machine against society and government, or the bad force. So the characters in the poems that I've discussed, the When You Go Away and The Gift of More Time, our heroes are not really in this category as a hero. They're more of just in this state, this mourning state. So they don't really relate much to that question. And the last question is, why did literature change throughout time? And the answer is simply because we change. We change as the years go by. We have new influences that come in from other places. We always are striving to become new things, to be better, to rise up, and to make what we are better, and to represent ourselves as time goes on. So that is why literature has been changing throughout time, is because we as people have discovered new ideas and we have discovered better ways to do things. So that is how, those are the objective questions, and those are the answers for them, and how they kind of relate to the poems that I've chosen for this project.